This is Starting Five Tuesday edition. We gave Kat a travel day back home from Florida, his first ever family vacation as big husband. Carter, the Florida glow kind of seems to have worn off on you. I'm not going to lie.
Wait, what?
I mean, you're just sitting in like an all gray room. Like there's no birds chirping. All right, there we go. How you feeling? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I didn't expect it to be like snowy and rainy in April still, so that's kind of ass. But besides that, I can't complain, man. You know, I got my health on my side. Wake up every morning with a roof over my head. So you just got to count the small blessings in today's world. And I feel like those are, you know, something I take pride in. I'm happy about.
Health, happiness, and everybody have fun. That's always
that's all that really matters. And also I'm closing this window because it's super bright. But yeah, I'm still good. Don't worry.
Good to hear. All right, let's start with the biggest news of the weekend. Jacob does not make the top 10 on American Idol. They put Tristan through instead. I'm devastated. Your thoughts?
People still watch American Idol?
Hell yeah, we do.
Really?
I'm trying to like do my thing as, my version of Good Husband. My wife likes the show. It's like 7 hours a week. Sunday, Monday card. It's not good.
You're just Ryan Seacrest with Adobe.
Okay, let's start with the real topic number one. Jordan Poole, my second favorite college player ever. I own 2 Jordan Poole jerseys that I bought before he ever stepped foot on the Michigan court cart. Like I'm a ride or die since day one, real since day one, since day 0 for Jordan Poole. And I would be lying if I looked in this camera and told you that I saw this level of NBA success coming for Mr. Jordan Poole. Last night, he had 29 points, 8 assists. They have him running point full time on this Warriors team that still includes Stephen Curry. It's nonsensical to me, but it's pretty special. What are you seeing in Jordan Poole?
Yeah, Jordan Poole is what I like to refer to as him. Like, I knew that I honestly thought that he would be able to score at this level. I didn't really doubt that at any time, but I didn't know it was going to be like this and as efficient as it has been. I mean, I think if you look at the stats over the last 20 games, like his shooting splits are absolutely insane. His bag is crazy. And now they got him running point and he's throwing left-handed passes. He's doing behind the back. He's driving the lane. I mean, right now, he's playing some of the best basketball out of anybody in the whole entire league, which is just crazy to me and forces me to somehow flip that this is Michigan's fault. Because as you know, Greg, you love to take the angle of Michigan State holding their players back. And I think that this is a classic case of that with this. I mean, you have a Jordan Poole and he has this type of ability and you turn him into Corey Pearson. Like, I mean, I don't really.
Corey Pearson?
I don't know. I was just trying to think of some random role player at Michigan, but like
Kalamazoo Courthouse legend Corey Pearson.
Yeah, I was just trying to find some random role player from Michigan. But in all honesty, though, like I did not expect this out of Poole, and we're watching that game last night, and it was not out of line to say that Jordan Poole is the best player on the Warriors.
Yeah, that's the crazy part to me, but I have to admit
He's not though.
Well, we're going to talk about that. I have to address your Michigan comments quickly first. This is why college fans never shit on your team's players for going pro. Never do that because like Jordan Poole always had this type of ability. He was always flashy. He could always pass. He was throwing no-look passes in college. He was hitting step back shots in college. And he went on a cold shooting streak for like a month in his sophomore season from February through the end of the year. He still shot like 34% from 3 on the year next to a point guard who can't shoot at all. He was always option 1 on that scouting report. Like, I don't really get why fans get mad when players go pro. Obviously, they want them to stick around, but like people insinuating Jordan Poole would never have success and good luck in Europe because he left as a sophomore. He was drafted in the first round by the best organization in basketball, who clearly identified that everything that's special about him fits in with what makes them special too. So I was really happy on draft night because I kind of felt like it rejuvenated his career. Like situation does matter. And I would have been terrified if he ended up in Sacramento or Minnesota or something. Like Jordan Poole getting drafted by the Warriors sort of saved him in a way. Or like, I think he would have worked out anywhere, but seeing him in this death lineup running point with the two shooters, with Draymond, with Andrew Wiggins, it's crazy. But yeah, I think it's fair to ask Cart, because he has been the best player on the Warriors through 2 games. Like, no questions asked. And like, I know Curry's hobbled a little bit, but they don't got anybody else on this team going for 8 assists right now. Draymond's always been the assist guy. Like Poole has Curry level scoring ability right now, but with assists. Like, that's better than Steph Curry right now.
I will say that I think you can make an argument that he is playing better than Steph Curry right now, but he's not better than Steph Curry.
At full strength or right now?
At full strength.
He's better than Steph Curry right now.
Curry also, did you see Curry's stats last night?
Yeah, I have him up.
He had 30.
He had 34.
Yeah, like, what are we talking about here, right? Like, Curry just had an awful game.
Yeah, he had 34, 23 minutes.
Yeah. What are we talking about here?
Okay, let me ask this quickly. Jordan Poole is a top blank player in the NBA, in the world.
Blank player? That's tough. Can I do like shooting guard or something?
No. What level is Jordan Poole right now? I have my answer.
I don't want to disrespect him, because I actually, you know how I feel about Jordan Poole. I've come around a little bit.
Yeah,
you
sent unprompted, exciting Jordan Poole text last night. You never do that about Michigan players,
bro, because he was really in his bag. Like, I knew he had a bag, but not like this. And the consistency has come along, which is impressive. Like I said, if you look at the last 20 games, his numbers have been consistently like that.
That step back on Boogie in the corner, like,
yeah,
come on.
Also, it was on Boogie, but let's see. I would say top 30.
Okay. I was going to say top 25 to be objective. I think you could stretch it to top 20. Like, trade asset wise, I think he's top 20 right now, maybe higher. Like, I don't think there's 20 players in the league people would say no to for Jordan Poole.
Poole needs a new agent, I think, because I'm hearing that like he's looking to get 20 million in free agency. Nah, that bag's got to be with the bag. The price is going up for Jordan Poole.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid. Drip boy, always been a drip boy. Took Michigan to the title, hit the shot that kept them alive. He's always been special. Like, what are we doing?
I do want to say this before we move on. I don't want to extend this out, because we know how our starting 5 gets that are supposed to be 20 minutes, but end up being 30-ish minutes.
We have topics we can be short on today. We can be long.
Right, true. Quick answer here. We don't have to explain. Just want to know where you stand. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Jordan Poole, your starting team?
Jordan Poole.
Okay. I'm taking SGA. But
I think SGA's got some empty numbers to him. Like, I think Poole.
Jordan Poole would have empty numbers too if he was playing next to fucking Poku and Isaiah Roby.
Are we sure about that?
Yes.
Are we sure about that? I'm just like, Poole does a lot of winning things right now.
He also plays on a winning team with winning players.
He scores 30 with Curry and Clay next to him.
Yeah, that you realize that scoring 30 is easier when you have players next to you like that, right?
He might average 45 on OKC if he's the only option playing next to Josh Giddey.
I like Josh Giddey. Let's move on.
Josh Giddey's just an Outer Banks character with hoop shoes.
I love Outer Banks. I love hoop shoes.
You have problems. All right. The other NBA playoff games are still happening. I've been a little distracted again. American Idol was on at the same time, but the Dallas Mavericks are alive in this series. They get a win against the Jazz. I didn't expect that at all without Luka. I thought this could be a sweep without Luka, but future Piston point guard Jalen Brunson goes for 41.
Ooh.
41 points from Jalen Brunson.
Hey,
I'm confused by that.
I'm confused by it too. And it's time to start looking at the Jazz funny. I mean, we always looked at the Jazz as fraud alerts because they're from Utah and they're Utah Jazz, but in a game with Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson was the best guard on the floor and has probably been the best guard in this series. One can make an argument about. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's still getting his numbers, but if the Mavs had Luka, this might get super ugly, but Jalen Brunson is tough, and he needs to come on over. The Pistons, Weaver were willing to drop the bag this summer. Jalen Brunson is tough.
Would you rather throw a max contract at Jalen Brunson or Miles Bridges? The answer should be neither of them. We shouldn't throw a max at either. But
yeah, I don't think we should throw a max at either. But probably Brunson. I'm thinking.
I think Brunson makes more sense with the roster we have.
I think Brunson. I'm literally only thing that I care about right now is what makes most sense with Cade.
Yeah, and
every single move, every single thing that happens. And this goes outside of basketball, whatever jerseys we choose next, we need to make sure Cade is comfortable. Like that is all hashtag CNC Cade comfortability. That's all we need moving forward.
Yeah. And also you can't trust any Michigan State alumni in the NBA. So I think that's a good pick with Brunson over Bridges.
You can trust Michigan State alumni more than Michigan alumni. I tell you that. Don't let this Jordan Poole shit fool you.
Gary Harris is doing what Jordan Poole did.
Don't go to Gary. Okay, of course. You love going to Gary Harris.
Brent Forbes is doing what Jordan Poole did. Denzel Valentine's doing what Jordan Poole did.
Okay. You're just going to skip over people?
Jaren Jackson's doing what Jordan Poole did?
Yes.
Tell me when.
Yes, he actually is. He's done it.
Tell me when.
Just so you know.
Hey, he's down 0-1 in a playoff series right now, but he can stay in the corner and keep shooting threes. We'll see what happens.
Your boy's not even good if a Michigan State guy's not making it happen for him.
Oh, come on. That timeout clip of Draymond just screaming, "That's all Jordan! That's all Jordan!" was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I know that hurts Draymond deep down somewhere. It does.
Oh, 100%.
Look, I don't think it's time to look at the Jazz funny, but I'm looking at Mike Conley funny. 22 minutes, 0 for 7 from the floor, 0 points last night. I mean, he was a total.
I don't even call that looking at Mike Conley funny. It's looking at Mike Conley. Like I've been trying to tell the streets, they didn't want to listen to me.
Yeah, but he just looks like a shell of himself. Normally he's good for like 15 a game in the playoffs.
Looks like himself to me.
So here's my thing. Like, I think Mitchell and Gobert are both individually very good. Like, I think Gobert is clearly the best defender in the league right now. And I think Donovan Mitchell is like still a top 20 guard or top 20 player, really. Like, I trust Donovan Mitchell. I think he's had monster playoff performances in his career so far. The thing is, they don't like each other, and that's pretty obvious. And like, I don't know how many people listening to this have even just like played pickup basketball, let alone like some level of competitive basketball. It's very hard to win on a basketball court when you like despise the person that you're supposed to play with. And that's one thing if it's like the fifth option on the floor. Like if it's you and one other dude who are the stars and you hate each other, you're in a really tough spot. And I think they genuinely hate each other.
I think this is one of the theories that I've never, ever agreed with in basketball, just based off my time playing and just based off how I feel. The narrative that like you can hate the other person, but like, oh, we don't have to like each other on the court. We just got to win. No, that's not how it works, man. Like you cannot play with somebody that you actually don't like and hate. Like it ends up like you might get some wins. You might even make a run in the playoffs, but you're not going to win the whole thing if you genuinely don't like the other person.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't happen. I think the last time that happened is you could go back to like Shaq and Kobe not genuinely liking each other at a certain point, but they at the same time they did, and it was different because it's Kobe and Shaq, and also that was back 20 something years ago.
Yeah, it's like Jordan, Pippen, Kobe, Shaq are the two big examples, but like those included Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal.
Right. Like there's a big difference here. Like you gotta somewhat.
I don't give a fuck if Giannis hates Chris Middleton. That doesn't matter to me. He's Giannis. He's gonna be okay. But like Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, y'all gotta like each other.
If you are outside of a top 10 NBA player, you gotta like your teammates.
Yeah. And they don't. They clearly don't. And I like this is a dumb thing to say, but when they traded Joe Ingles, that felt like red flag to me. Because this team's had the same core for like 4 seasons straight. They had some good playoff runs. Last year, they caught Phoenix in the first round. And like, oh, well, Phoenix was a team of destiny last year. But like, they kind of gave up on this core when they traded Joe Ingles to me. And now they're replacing Joe Ingles with like Danuel House minutes, 2 points in 21 minutes last night.
Ooh.
Danuel House Jr. It's not Daniel, it's Danuel.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a U in there. It might be Daniel, but
there is a U in there, but I'm pretty sure the U is silent. It's just Daniel House.
That's a really weird way to spell Daniel. All right, let's move on. We didn't say anything on this. The Sixers destroyed the Raptors. That's going to keep happening. That's a sweep.
Yeah, that's just levels. One team is high level team, power 5. The other one's an A10 team.
Absolutely absurd that this was a minus 190 to start the series win for the Sixers. Like, I'm sorry, Raptors, your team's not good. You're a regular season team. You got a bunch of dudes who compete and like 7 switchable 3/4s, like Precious Achua and 5 other Precious Achuas. It's impressive they got to the playoffs at all, in my opinion. I think they're a very bad team.
Yeah, credit to them, but let's just take that small win and just go ahead and head out of the playoffs.
Thank you. Moving on, Ja Morant. This feels like a sleeper specialty here. Ja Morant's getting emotional online, my friend. We don't like that normally. I certainly don't like it. Ja took to the Twitter fingers and basically posted a clip of Michael Jordan from The Last Dance where he's holding the bat. He's like tightening the grip. And he's just saying, it's easy to talk that shit when you up. See, they talk that shit when it's 0-0. And Ja Morant is down 0-1 in a playoff series to the fucking Minnesota Timberwolves card. Like, there's no sense of the moment here. And I loved Ja Morant. I put a D on that because I'm at an existential crisis point of what do I do with my fandom of Ja Morant right now, because he's being too emotional online and I can't support that.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is who Ja Morant is. Like, I've never seen someone who loses get their phone faster after games and like tweet something like, I gotta be better, 12 gonna be fine. Oh, we'll figure it out, 12. Stay the course, 12, with like a ninja, with like the ninja emoji. Like, that's who he is. I expected something to come after this game. But it's just funny to me that like in the context, like he's putting this up because he's because he's down 0-1 to the Timberwolves, like the play-in Timberwolves, the Patrick Beverly Timberwolves. All I know is that all this does is this puts more pressure on him to show out next game because, I mean, he got his stats last game. He did, but went to the free throw line 20 times. He went a long stretch of the second half without scoring when his team needed him to score, and they couldn't stop anybody. And the Grizzlies are a team that everyone likes, and I personally like because they talk shit. Like, I appreciate that. You know, they got the whole we ain't ducking smoke thing, and, you know, we'll go up the chimney, whatever, like they're Santa Claus, whatever fuck they be saying. But you got to keep that same energy. Got to keep that same energy, and you can't get too emotional. There's such things as getting too emotional, and this might be towing the line a little bit for me.
So I think I have a new official life stance here, Cart. Tough guys don't hit Twitter. I think that's the thing I'm going to run with. Like, if you are an actual tough guy, you don't take to Twitter to air your emotions in any way. It's kind of like the saying of like come actually see me, like that shit, like versus the guy who's like, oh yeah, come see me, and then he walks the other direction. Like, to me, if you are a tough guy, you just show up and be tough. You don't air your emotions out on Twitter constantly, both good and bad. And like, are the Grizzlies actually tough? Because the grit and grind Grizzlies were tough. These Grizzlies have been in one playoff series in their careers, and they're acting like they're the baddest dudes in the league, and they're down 0-1 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, Karl Anthony Towns is the best player on the Timberwolves. He's not tough, and they're down 0-1 to that dude.
Yeah, well, Anthony Edwards is tough, though. I'll tell you that.
Anthony Edwards is tough. You're right.
Anthony Edwards is tough.
I think I'm officially on team Ja Morant is a fake tough guy until proven differently. He can be a great player and be a fake tough guy.
Who doesn't hit Twitter, though? Honestly, like, if you think of all the tough guys in the NBA, do they not all hit Twitter?
Is Anthony Edwards on Twitter?
Yes.
Is he tweeting constantly? Like, you know, there's levels, same way as with basketball and life. There's levels to Twitter. Like, you can
they both tweet and post on Instagram constantly. You
could be CJ McCollum levels of online, or you can just be like a person with a Twitter account who tweets once a day. Like there's levels.
I mean, also, do you think that the Grizzlies are winning the series?
I'm swung around now. I really am. I bet on the Timberwolves to cover game 1. I'm probably going to keep betting the Timberwolves to cover every game if they get 7 points. And right now, I think the Wolves are going to win the series.
Interesting. I'm sticking with my Grizzlies pick. I said Grizzlies in 5. That might change, but we'll see.
It ain't in 5. It ain't in 5 unless Ja backs up his shit. Like,
which he might. Which he might.
He's got to do more than just go for 32, though. Like, if Ja's just out there to get 32, the Wolves are winning. They got
to get a stop.
They can't. I'm telling you. They got Jaren guarding. That's it.
Jaren was in his Michigan State bag last game. Couldn't stop hacking.
Jaren Jackson isn't used to being on the floor in big games when it matters. Like, he's shook by
All right. Episode stretching out.
All right. Topic number 4. Great segue there. To another Michigan State big man who's not used to being on the floor. Julius Marble is going to transfer. That's the rumor. This has been confirmed behind the scenes by a reliable news source in the state of Michigan. So I expect this to happen either this week or next week. But either way, there's one scholarship big man returning for Michigan State next year. That's Mady Sissoko. There's a second big man who will be on the roster. That's Jackson Kohler, true freshman. There's 3 open scholarships, and there's a transfer portal full of centers. Carter, you are currently on day 7 of posting a TikTok every day until Michigan State signs someone from the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. You might have another month to 2 months left of this, if not more. How do you feel?
I'm just upset. Like, for starters, if anyone is saying at this is just looking at this current moment that you're happy that Julius Marble's leaving, you can't be. If I had to pick between who I want leaving, Julius Marble or Mady Sissoko, I'm picking Mady Sissoko to leave 10 times out of 10. Like, why would we not want to keep Marble? And then on top of that, we have a coach who's saying basically he doesn't want to add a center or a big man from the transfer portal. So we can't afford to lose anybody to the transfer portal at this time. So it's just like we're going into next season with Mady Sissoko, who's going to be our starting center?
Well, here's the thing. Everybody who's happy that Julius Marble's gone, which again is a crazy take, is happy because if this was college basketball 2K12, you would just sign a better center. Like, if the expectation is Tom Izzo's going to replace Julius Marble with a starting center like this, then yeah, of course, that's objectively a good thing. The problem is your coach doesn't want to do that. Your coach said last week he wasn't going to do that. He has not reached out to a center. And I know the program can keep certain things under wraps, but like, he has not reached out to a center. And will that change? Maybe, but there's a non-zero chance he says, we're good with Sissoko and Kohler, and maybe Joey Hauser's going to play some 5 for us this year. Let's roll it back. Like, that's not out of the question here. So for Michigan State fans to be happy Julius Marble's gone, I think that's insane. Julius Marble is never going to be an all-conference player, but he's the only guy on the roster who's played any real minutes for Michigan State. He scored like 15 plus points multiple games last year. He was a good offensive option. And I'm sick, Cart. I don't know if you feel the same. I'm sick of Michigan State fans acting like purging this roster is a good thing. Like, it was a good thing they had open scholarships last year. No, it was horrible. That forced Max Christie to be horrible for 3 months of the season and never come off the floor. Like, they want Joey Hauser gone. They want Julius Marble gone. Do they want anybody on this roster next year? Because right now you might have 9 players on the team and they all stink. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And this is a great rendition here. I don't know if anyone can see this. Okay, this is how my summer has gone as this fan. As you can see, this is about the tournament time. We played pretty well. My anger levels were pretty low. I was disappointed, but I wasn't angry. And as the summer has gone on, my anger has done nothing but grow and grow and grow. And if I could add another sheet of paper to this graph, it seems that it will continue to grow because we are not putting ourselves in the best position to compete, all right? Especially because next year in the Big Ten might not be as good as it usually is. There is an opportunity for us to seize the moment. Go get players, man. We're Michigan State. I'm tired of fucking dancing around like we're Central Michigan or some shit. Like, go get some players. It's not that hard. We're getting cooked by Mike Woodson on the recruiting trail. Mike Woodson's 100. If he can do it, you can do it. Go out there and get players. There's a whole ass transfer portal. There are 1,900 players currently in the transfer portal. We have open scholarships. We have Michigan State. We have East Lansing. We're getting a Raising Cane's this summer. Stuff is looking up. Go get someone for real. Like, go get someone. I like the guys that we have coming back. I like what AJ Hogarth could do. I think that Malik Hall can do some things, but we have holes. Is it like something where we think if we add people from the transfer portal, like we're saying our team's like is just completely ass or something?
No,
like all the best teams are adding people.
The truth here, it's a mix of things, but the truth here is that from my personal perspective on this, from things that I've heard, I believe Izzo believes that one, adding to the transfer portal is going to piss off his guys. Like, he didn't want to recruit a center because he didn't want to piss off Marble. And he didn't want to piss off Sissoko, which is crazy, first of all. Two, I think he views it as you bring in guys from a different culture, from, who knows what they're wired like, what their emotional personalities are. How does that affect competition and competitiveness? And I think Izzo thinks it would make guys compete less than it would. Like, in my opinion, the portal enhances competition. Like, it's going to make, if Michigan adds Terrence Shannon, and we're going to talk about that in a second, Kobe Buffkin's going to work harder than he ever has in his life to keep.
Or he's going to leave.
Or he's going to leave. But like, either way, that's going to end up in a good outcome for Michigan. And that's what Michigan State needs to realize, is like, keeping Mady Sissoko happy in his 4.5 minutes a game and his 1 point and 1 rebound career averages as a junior should not matter. Like, get someone who is a productive center and will force Mady Sissoko to work harder than he's ever worked in his life to keep a role on this team. And if you don't do that, like, again, Cart, I've been asking, what's the breaking point for Michigan State fans? If Tom Izzo doesn't get a center, what are you going to do? Like, there's no defending him anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what the highest building in Detroit is, but you might find me on top of it. It's
he gets one?
No, I truly don't. And I thought that it was 100% fact that he would get one. I'm not saying who it would be or when it would be, but I was 100% convinced of the fact that he was going to add some type of center big man. And I really don't think he's gonna right now. I truly think that Michigan State fans have to ready themselves next year for our front court being Mady Sissoko and Jackson Kohler. And maybe go with the small buy deal with Malik Hall at the 5. But that's it. That's what we're gonna have to accept. And I just thought, this is what I don't understand. Part of college basketball, you're adding players, whether you're adding people, adding recruits, or you're adding transfer portal people. That's part of the game. And I look at people who use the transfer portal correctly and add players. Like, you think Arkansas this year was like, oh, we got Jalen Williams, we're not getting any big men. Trace Jackson Davis might come back for Indiana. Do you think that stopped them from going and looking after big men? No. Like, guys are in the transfer portal constantly. You're telling me that we can't convince one player that is a college basketball transfer that they can come to Michigan State with a front court that's not loaded? Like, this seems like a perfect situation. Why is it that hard?
It shouldn't be, is the thing. But again,
I don't want to post on TikTok anymore. I'm running out of ideas.
You have a coach who thinks it's bad for the game and doesn't realize it's bad for his roster to not partake.
The only thing that's bad for the game is if you don't embrace it and use it, because you're going to get left behind.
Back-to-back 7th place finishes in the Big Ten, back-to-back first weekend exits, and I don't think it's looking up. Also, like, it'd be one thing if he was recruiting his ass off. Like, this class has 2 guys in it, and they're both 4 stars, low 4 stars. I like Jackson Kohler a lot, but like, we're putting all the eggs in the Jackson Kohler basket, center spot for 40 minutes, 35 minutes. That's crazy. I don't get it. The one other thing we need to hit on quickly with this, the portal options at center are not great right now. And like for Michigan State to be so far behind in even communication with the current options at center, like for Michigan State fans to be happy Marble's leaving, like they're just going to go pluck some starting set. Like who's the starting center that doesn't exist? Manny Bates? He's got a top 5 list out right now that doesn't include Michigan State. Are they just going to swoop in last second? And even if you get Manny Bates, he averaged 9 and 6 in 28 minutes a game. Manny Bates isn't an all Big Ten center. He's better than what Michigan State has, but like, I don't think there's a ton of options. Manny Bates is the best center in the portal, and he averaged 9 and 6 for a bad NC State team.
Yeah, but I think Manny Bates has some shit to him. He's actually good.
He does, but Michigan State's not going to get Manny Bates, number one. And number two, like, again, that's the point, is if Manny Bates is the best center, Michigan State hasn't reached out to him, has no chance of getting him. Like, who's underneath Manny Bates?
Right.
Like, you're getting someone worse than Manny Bates.
I mean, all the other big men have released lists that doesn't have Michigan State on it, or there's guys have already committed. And also, newsflash, Jalen Bridges is not coming to Michigan State either, by the way.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think they're underdogs now because you get Nate Oates in your home. That's a little different than getting Tom Izzo in your home at this stage in his career. But I think they could still pull him. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see. But also, like, if there's no big man in the portal, then start fucking tampering. Go put out the word. If someone hears this, like Michigan State, we got minutes in the front court. If you're not happy where you're at, come fuck with us. Like
there was a rumor they were doing that with Trace Jackson Davis, by the way.
As we should. If anyone has Trace Jackson Davis, like I said, Trace. I don't know if you saw the last episode. Hope the weekend went well since the last episode. Hope you attack this week with energy unknown to any man on this face of the earth. Just hope you have a great week, man. And just know we got a spot for you, my brother. We do.
I think your team's not getting transfers because you keep quoting Jim Harbaugh with that attack this week with enthusiasm unknown.
Is that a Harbaugh quote?
That is a Jim Harbaugh quote. And I can't believe you didn't realize that and you keep saying that.
Because I'm pretty sure I heard that from somebody else. I think Harbaugh stole that from somebody.
Attack this day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind is Jim Harbaugh's #1 Michigan mantra and has been for 10 years.
I don't know if that's Harbaugh's thing, though.
It's literally his thing. Like, oh, man. You know who Michigan State should really chase in the portal cart? Julius Marble when he hits the portal.
Just bring him back.
Knows the system. Probably the most productive center in the portal. I say they give him a call. All right. From one team's portal demise to one team's portal hopes. Bunch of buzz online that Terrence Shannon could end up a Michigan Wolverine. Some account, I don't even remember what it's called. It doesn't have many followers, and apparently it's been wrong a bunch of times this year. Reported that Terrence Shannon is a quote unquote near done deal, other than admissions. Like he's coming to Michigan if they can figure out the coursework stuff. He's apparently visiting Michigan. That's been confirmed this week. I don't believe he's visiting anywhere else yet. So all signs point to Terrence Shannon wanting to play at Michigan. I would assume admissions is going to figure that out. They figured it out for Sean D. Brown. Juwan Howard has some pull. Terrence Shannon is an all-academic Big 12 kid. So it's about the credits transferring, but I have a feeling they would be able to pull some strings there. The other thing here is that Terrence Shannon and his mom are actively trolling. Like Hunter Dickinson quote tweeted the tweet. And I don't forget if it was like the eyeball emojis or something, but like Dickinson acknowledged basically like Shannon's coming to Michigan and the rumor is Dickinson's back. That would be big. Within 20 minutes, Shannon quote tweeted it and was just like this emoji. And his mom is in Illinois threads on Twitter tweeting eyeball emojis about their starting 5 next season. So I don't know what to make of this. I know one thing. The Shannon family are trolls. That terrifies me because the last time Michigan recruited a troll, it was Josh Christopher, and we got trolled. I don't want that to happen again, and I feel the vibes of that. What do you make of the Terrence Shannon Michigan situation?
That wasn't the last time because Hunter Dickinson was a troll too.
Yeah, but a troll trying to troll us.
Got you. Yeah, I first of all, I just think it's hilarious that you're just like, yeah, Terrence Shannon. He was all academic in the Big 12, by the way. What was his GPA, G? Do you know? What was his major?
I know he was all academic honors. Like they give out awards for that. He got an award.
Congratulations, Terrence.
That matters when you're trying to talk about making it through the harshest admissions school in the country, which is stupid as shit. Like I got bars for that too if we want to go there. But like whether or not Terrence Shannon takes school seriously does matter in this situation.
True. I agree. Okay, but yeah, I mean, we talked to lengths about Terrence Shannon, what he can bring to Michigan. I think he's highly athletic. I think he's a great defender. I think that he is a guy that you can't sag off necessarily. I don't know if I would call him like a knockdown shooter, but he's a guy that shoots close to probably 37% from three. Do you think, or is that too high?
No, I think that's about right. Without
okay, like he's a guy. He's a guy. Basically, you got to respect it. It's streaky at times, but you got to respect it.
I mean, he shot more threes a game than Eli Brooks did and hit them at a high 30% clip. Like he's not just like you kind of got to get a hand. Like he's a shooter.
He's not a shooter.
If you shoot,
but Eli wasn't a shooter. Eli wasn't a shooter either. Like they're both not shooters.
Eli was definitely a shooter. Like
I think I got you quoted saying Eli's not a shooter.
Eli's the only thing Eli is a shooter.
Like he didn't have one of the most iconic running layups of all time. Respect that man.
If you shoot 5.5 attempts from three a game and make 38% of them, you're a shooter. Like, what are we doing here? Like the only guys who aren't shooters are like guys who shoot 5 attempts a game and shoot 28%. Max Christie. Or Caleb Houston on the road is not a shooter.
All right. Got you.
He's a shooter. What are we doing? Why are we diminishing Terrence Shannon? Why?
Because he's not I don't want to call him a shooter because that's not what I think his game is.
He's a shooter that can do a lot more than just shoot is the point. That's why he's the best player in the portal.
Here we go. This shot create the best player in the portal.
He's the best player in the portal.
In the whole portal.
He's the best player in the portal.
Out of guys that committed too.
Give me a guy who's better than Terrence Shannon.
You're high.
Give me a guy.
You're high.
Again, give me a guy.
Kendrick Davis. Nigel Pack.
I'll give you Kendrick. I'll give
Nigel Pack.
Nigel's a toss.
Nigel Pack was first team all Big 12 in a conference that Terrence Shannon was in.
Was he first team all academic Big 12 though? I'm just kidding. No, look, Kendrick and Nigel are fair. They're high usage guards, like whatever. A point guard who shoots 20 times a game, yeah, they're going to be better players than Terrence Shannon, I guess. I think there's an unlocked element to Terrence Shannon that hasn't been seen because he's played 25 minutes a game for 3 years at Texas Tech. Or
he looks good at 25 minutes a game. You up the usage, he doesn't look so pretty. Up in the minutes doesn't always equal up in the production.
I think in this case it does. I think if you put Terrence Shannon at the team,
I hate that you're making me take this stance on Terrence Shannon when I've loved Terrence Shannon.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you're doing this just to play devil's advocate.
No, I'm not. I'm saying he's a great addition. Like he is a top 5 addition in the transfer portal. I think I'll give you that.
He would be no doubt, without question, the second best player on Michigan. Would probably make them a top 10 team, and he'd be an all Big 10 player. If he played 33 minutes a game at the 2 for Michigan next year, he's going to score like 15 a game. He hasn't done that at Texas Tech because he plays 25 minutes in a Texas Tech system that makes subs like Tom Izzo does.
Okay. Well, he's going to Illinois anyway. He's going to Illinois anyway, so.
He's not going to Illinois, man. As long as admissions doesn't fumble the bag, please don't fumble the bag. Look at me. Look me in the eyes, please. I've worked way too hard for this. Please, just don't do this to me. Last thing on Michigan, if they get Terrence Shannon, is it okay that Caleb Houston leaves? Like, then you probably have Kobe Buffkin at the 2 and Shannon at the 3, or Shannon at the 2 and Terrence Williams at the 3. You don't care if Caleb Houston leaves regardless, right?
I think you want him back, right?
I think you want him back regardless. Shannon Houston would be a nasty wing combo.
I think you 100% want him back.
Okay. They would be over one scholarship technically. I think they could move one of Juwan's sons to walk-on status though and get around it. But
they're not going to move Jet to walk-on status.
Why?
The top 50 player.
Doesn't matter.
Well, maybe they'll have some. I mean, wait, because John's left, right?
They'd be one over even with all the departures.
Who has this? I mean, who has a scholarship? Like, is Will Tell Cheddar still on the team?
Shetter's on scholarship. Isaiah Barnes is on scholarship. Kobe Buffkin, Frankie Collins are on scholarship, and then Dickinson, Diabate, Houston. So the presumption is if Shannon comes, one of the 3 freshmen would leave, or one of the 3 pros would leave. Dickinson's going to be back. Sounds like Diabate's back, and Caleb Houston is up in the air, likely leaning leaving. But I don't know if they all 3 wanted to come back and Shannon came. Maybe they're the team they were supposed to be last year, Cart. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe not.
How would you feel if Michigan had 14 scholarship players and Michigan State had 9?
I'd be pretty upset.
Still be posting TikToks though.
This very well might go months and months.
I hope for your sake it doesn't. Although I enjoy the TikToks personally. I think there's a lot of people out there that do. So good work.
At least somebody's finding happiness in my pain.
Keep up the good work, my friend. This was the starting 5. We'll be back Friday. We're doing a drunk scouts this week too, right?
I guess.
Maybe not. This is what I got to deal with. Hopefully Michigan State gets active so we can spin your spirits around. Thank you for listening. Please click subscribe. Please click like, all that. I'll be on Spotify today, tomorrow, and Thursday morning. Spotify Live if you want to listen to any of those.
Who you going to be on with tomorrow?
Cartel.
Sersky, come listen to more of my pain.
All right, we'll see y'all.